My ears twitched with amusement as I watched Raylatak's expression shift from skepticism to fascination. The young trader's whiskers quivered as he leaned forward across our table in the Voidwalker's lounge, his untouched glass of fermented nectar forgotten. "You've actually traced their roots?" he asked, his large ears pivoting forward to catch every word over the ambient hum of the spaceport beyond the lounge's crystalline windows. I took a slow sip of my own nectar, savoring both its sweet burn and the moment. Every veteran trader had their human stories, but mine were true. Well, mostly true. 3 spiral arms, I confirmed, letting my ears swivel back in a casual gesture. The interesting part isn't just how far they reached, but how they did it. Take the Fyron bubble wrap phenomenon. Raylatak's eyes widened. Everyone knew that story, but few knew the details. The Fyrons, I continued, are crystalline beings who spend their entire lives seeking perfect geometric representations of their ancestral worlds. They'd trade entire asteroid belts of precious metals for even a crude spherical artifact. Then humans show up with cargo holds full of this packaging material. Sheets of transparent film covered in perfect little bubbles. I paused to let that sink in. Raylatak's whiskers were practically vibrating now. The humans didn't just sell it to them, no. They created an entire cultural context. They demonstrated how pressing the bubbles produced a satisfying pop sound that, they claimed, represented the cosmic birth of new worlds. They explained how the irregular patterns of popped and unpopped bubbles symbolized the chaos and order of universal creation. "That's impossible," Raylatak protested, but his twitching ears betrayed his desperate desire to believe. "The Fyrons are renowned for their skepticism of foreign religious artifacts." "Exactly," I slapped the table with my palm, making our glasses jump. "That's what made it brilliant. The humans never claimed it was religious. They presented it as industrial waste, something they were slightly embarrassed to even offer. The Fyrons' own scholars were the ones who declared it sacred." I leaned back, letting my ears drift into a smugly relaxed position. But that's nothing compared to what they pulled off with the Vrex and Catal empires. Raylatak finally remembered his nectar, taking a deep gulp. "The toxic waste exchange? That's just a myth." "Oh no, my young friend. I knew the trader who brokered that deal. Humans have this saying, one being's trash is another being's treasure. But they don't just say it, they find ways to make it true. They discovered that the Vrex's primary industrial waste product, which was slowly poisoning their outer colonies, was chemically identical to a key ingredient in Cal's ceremonial feasts. And the Cal's most problematic pollutant, perfect for Vrex atmospheric processors. But the Vrex and Catal were on the brink of war. Precisely. The human trader convinced each side they were cleverly exploiting the other by buying worthless trash at premium prices. Both sides thought they were the ones pulling off the ultimate scam. By the time they realized they'd actually established a mutually beneficial trade relationship, their economies were too intertwined for war. "That's?" Raylatak's ears twisted in confusion. "That's not how trade is supposed to work. The Galactic Commerce Academy teaches us to maximize profit through clear value propositions," and I cut him off with a laugh. "That's why humans were the best traders in history. They understood something even our most advanced AI systems missed. Arbitrage isn't just about price differentials. It's about finding hidden value in the spaces between cultures, in the gaps between what something is and what it could mean." I gestured to the bustling spaceport beyond the lounge windows, where countless species conducted their carefully calculated, entirely rational trades. "We've made commerce into a science. Humans, they made it an art." I watched Raylatak's ears twitch as he processed everything I'd told him. The young trader was bright. You had to be to get licensed for interstellar commerce these days. But there were some things the Commerce Academy couldn't teach. "There's more," I said softly, reaching into my shoulder pouch. "Something I've never shown another soul." His ears perked straight up as I placed a small, battered rectangle on the table between us. The ancient human datapad was hardly impressive looking, its dark surface scratched and worn by centuries. "Is that?" His whiskers trembled. "Genuine human tech. Found it in a derelict trading post out in the Carina Arm." I ran a finger along its edge. Took me years to decrypt it, but what I found. My ears folded back in remembered awe. It changed everything I thought I knew about trade. What did it say? Raylatak was practically vibrating with curiosity now. It was a training manual of sorts, but not what you'd expect. No complex algorithms, no market analysis protocols, no arbitrage formulas. Instead, it was filled with something they called case studies, stories of successful and failed trades, with notes about why they worked or didn't. I took another sip of nectar, letting my ears swivel thoughtfully. The human secret wasn't superior technology or intelligence. It was their obsession with understanding the emotional and cultural needs of other species. They called it empathy, the ability to see the world through another being's eyes. But that's... Raylatak's ears drooped in confusion. "That's not trade, that's sociology." "Exactly." I leaned forward, whispered, "That's what everyone missed about humans. They never saw trade as just an exchange of goods. To them, it was a way to build bridges between cultures, to solve problems that went far beyond simple supply and demand." The manual had entries about deliberately trading at a loss, I continued, noting how Raylatak's whiskers bristled at such heresy. They would spend years, sometimes decades, building trust and connections with no immediate profit. They understood something profound, that relationships and knowledge were the most valuable commodities in the galaxy. Raylatak stared at the datapad. If they were so successful, why has no one ever seen one? Why haven't they visited our world? I let my ears drift into their most contemplative position. That's the most fascinating part. The last entry in this pad talks about humanity's ultimate trade, the greatest deal they ever made. They discovered something they called digital transcendence, found a way to convert their consciousness into pure data. You mean they uploaded themselves into the Galactic Information Network? They still exist, still trade, but not in physical goods anymore. They deal in ideas now, in cultural exchange and intellectual property. Those perfect trade routes we keep finding, they're not abandoned. They're maintained by human consciousness spread throughout the network, subtly guiding and shaping galactic commerce. I watched the spaceport traffic through the lounge windows, the endless flow of ships and cargo that followed paths laid down centuries ago. We think we're following rational economic principles, but we're really dancing to music humans composed ages ago. Every trade route, every cultural exchange, every diplomatic breakthrough through commerce, they're all echoes of human trading strategies. Raylatak's ears slowly shifted from shocked to thoughtful. So when my last cargo of atmospheric processors got mysteriously rerouted to that colony suffering from pollution, probably human influence, I nodded. They're still out there, still trading, still connecting cultures and solving problems. They just do it so subtly now that most people think they're just legends. I picked up the datapad and returned it to my pouch. That's why I'm sharing this with you, young one. Remember it next time you're calculating profit margins or analyzing market trends. The best trades aren't the ones that make the most money. They're the ones that forge connections, solve problems, build trust. That's what humans understood, and that's why they'll always be the best traders in history. Raylatak's ears finally relaxed, and a slow smile spread across his face. He raised his glass of nectar. To the humans, then. I clinked my glass against his. to the humans. May we all learn to trade as wisely. Above us, unseen in the spaceport's data networks, patterns shifted ever so slightly, guiding ships and cargo along paths laid down by traders who had learned that the greatest profit wasn't measured in credits, but in connections. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. If you did, please be sure to give it a like. Feel free to comment and share this story too. It helps the channel grow. Let's make this channel huge together.